When it comes to art, colours often have hidden messages. Artists use colours to evoke emotions in their audience, since colours add a different dimension and complexity to the painting. In fact, research shows that colours that surround us can have a direct effect on how we feel. The most successful artists have taken advantage of the meaning of colour and have created artworks that speak volumes to their audience without saying a word. Hello, it's Chloe Rose, and today we are going to learn the importance of colours with a fun game of Odd One Out. A way to convey hidden messages through colour is by using colour theory. When we use colour, we learn how humans perceive them and the visual effects of how they mix, match, or contrast with each other. Colour theory also involves messages that colours communicate. And how do they communicate? Through the assignment of their emotional and psychological connotations, also known as colour psychology. Many of these meanings are often universal because they have the same effect on our brains, but some of them are cultural. Knowing what each colour conveys can help artists, designers, and photographers to influence and enhance our experience with art. Now we know a bit more about how colours communicate, let's see if you can guess which one of these paintings uses the right colours to convey their message. Hint: one of them might just be a colouring page. First, we have The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Hokusai. Second, Vampire by Edvard Munch. Both of these paintings use strong colours, but only one of them uses them intentionally. Can you guess which one it is? I'll give you some time to think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up! Did you guess correctly? The correct answer is option number 2, Vampire by Edvard Munch. In this painting, a woman is sitting, embracing a man who is lying with his head on her lap. Her long hair hangs around him to highlight the embrace. The composition of the pyramid-shaped shadow behind the couple unites them so that they become one. Munch uses an orangey red as her hair colour, a colour often used to signify a fiery and dangerous personality, while the rest of the painting is in a blue or purplish dark tone that is commonly symbolising evilness, seriousness, and coldness. So, who knows what happened between these two lovers, Going back to our first option, we have The Great Wave by Hokusai as a colouring page painted with Google Arts and Culture's colouring book feature. Did you know that this print is Hokusai's most famous work and probably one of Japan's most recognised artworks? It dates back to the late Edo period between 1829 and 1833, and it's the first print in Hokusai's series, 36 Views of Mount Fuji. The print depicts the sacred volcano of Mount Fuji in the background and an enormous wave threatening 3 boats off the coast in Sagami Bay. The work itself speaks a lot about Japan's isolation during the Meiji Restoration, but what makes this print so interesting is the use of its blue. A Prussian blue only found in Europe at that time. Okay, now that we've warmed up, it's time to get real. If I show you 4 different artworks, could you spot which one shows its original colours among different colouring pages? First, we have woman combing her hair, and second, we have watermelon cellar. Cool, isn't it? Third, we have the dining room opus 152. And last but not least, we have the siesta. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Don't Google it. Do you have the answer? All of them could be the originals. Time's up. Did you guess correctly? The answer is option number 3, the Dining Room Opus 152 by Paul Signac. Did we fool you? This self-taught French artist, along with his friend Georges Seurat, researched colour and the effects of colour contrasts and then developed a new style of painting that later became known as pointillism. This technique consists of mixing colours with white and applying these directly in small dots onto the canvas. The colours only merge together in the eye of the observer when seen from a distance. The Dining Room is one of Signac's most interesting masterpieces, where he avidly experiments with colour using mainly blue, yellow, and orange-green as contrasting and complementary colours. Signac uses the colour blue to create the early morning shadows of the breakfast room. These blue shadows also carve out the features of the characters' stoic faces. It doesn't seem to be very early in the morning, does it? So let's go over the other artworks we painted using the Google Arts and Culture's colouring book feature. First, we have Woman Combing Her Hair by Hasaguchi Goyo. Known for his flawless woodblock print technique, Goyo makes fine cuts of black blocks to represent the intricacies of the woman's hair. Also, to ensure a greater impact, he restricted the rest of his palette to a little more than pale blue and a cool silver grey of the mica ground, giving a sense of serenity and calmness. Moreover, we have the Watermelon Cellar by Hafid Al-Draubi. He used his canvases particularly as a laboratory experiment with light and colours, integrating flats and complementary colours to come to the front, whereas the darkest and dullest fall back. And last but not least, the Siesta by Paul Galgan. As in all of Galgan's paintings, radical formal simplification lay at the very heart of his unique style. The figures consist primarily of flat areas of colour bounded by clear continuous outlines. He would use watered-down Prussian blue to heighten the intensity of other colours, as we can see in the woman's dresses. I'm amazed by how much colours contribute to what a painting evokes, aren't you? Unfortunately, all good things come to an end. On the bright side, this is not a goodbye, but a see you later. And if you are left wanting more, it's time to bring out your inner artist, grab some brushes, and have fun using the Google Arts and Culture colouring book feature.